What's up guys, it's Lightspiral here, and today I'm going to be bringing you a video showcasing a combination of two monsters that I think is really powerful in some PvE aspects of the game, specifically ToA and ToA Hard. The monsters that I've picked for this would be Spectra, the Fire Griffin, natural 3-star, completely farmable. It has a secret dungeon if you're looking for it. And the monster I comboed with it is Gildong, the Water Taoist. I'm not sure if I've already made a video on this guy. If I haven't, then I guess it's the first one. But this guy's not farmable. He is a Nat 4. And if you don't have this guy, it's okay because it also would work with the Dark Taoist if you have that one maybe. But it doesn't work as good, and I'll explain why. First thing that I will do is go over the skills of each of them, and then I'll explain why they go so good together, and then I'll explain how to rune each of them because that'll be pretty simple. And then last but not least, I'll show you an example of them in action. First, I guess I'll just start with Gildong since I'm already here. The first skill doesn't really matter too much, but I'll say what it does anyways. It does a decrease attack for 1 turn, and if you crit, it'll also make the enemy glance for 1 turn. You could choose to build him with a little crit rate to make it so he can do glancing hits, but I don't care about the crit rate because the second skill makes it so they basically don't ever get a turn. He attacks everyone 2 times. Each attack has a 30%, but it goes up to 50% chance to speed debuff for 2 turns. So that's okay, but the part where it gets good is if the enemy already has a speed debuff, they get stunned. So at first glance, it's like, okay, so you have a 50% chance to speed debuff and then a 50% chance to stun after that if you get the speed debuff. But if you make Spectra go first, you speed debuff with Spectra, and then you attack all enemies 2 times, each with a 100% chance to stun, which makes it so you will land your stun like 99% of the time. And it goes down to 3-turn cooldown if you do get it maxed, but I don't have it maxed and it works just fine. And then the third skill also goes well with Spectra because it attacks the enemy 4 times, each with a 35% chance if max skilled, but 25 if not, to defense break. So where that comes in good is Spectra's second skill can do a lot of damage, especially if there's a defense break on bosses. So with the combination of Gildong and Spectra, you get a lot of damage as well as pretty much like constant hard CC. And then he has this attack power leader skill, which doesn't really matter at all, but it is there. So now we'll go into Spectra. Spectra's first skill pretty much does nothing. It does damage based on his attack speed, and it basically doesn't do very much damage with the runes that you'll probably give him. So don't really worry about his first skill. But his second skill is pretty good. It does big damage proportionate to the enemy's max HP. So in ToA, especially on the boss floors, this does a very significant amount of damage. And it also consumes 10% of his HP. So if you're running a no healer team, you don't want to just be spamming this thing out because Spectra will literally kill himself with no heal. So do be careful if you're running no healers with him. And then this is reusable in 3 turns if it's maxed. And then the third skill will do an AoE speed debuff, and that has a 100% chance to land. And then it also has a 50% chance to do a 30% attack bar decrease. So and another thing I should mention is it's a harmless effect. So it can't glance, it can't crit, it doesn't do any damage at all. But that means it can reliably land on everyone, and it goes down to 3-turn cooldown when you have it maxed. So this skill is pretty good, and in combination with Gildong, you basically will have permanent crowd control, and then you will also have really significant damage for bosses with the combination of the defense break and the second skill of Spectra. That's why I did pick these two together, because the Gildong, you could use Gildong or Wound Hack, which is the Dark Taoist. But if you use Wound Hack, then you're not going to get as much damage from Spectra because you're losing on the defense break. And then instead of Spectra, you could use any speed debuffer you wanted to, really. But Spectra's nice because he has the damage. So like you could use something like Arya if you wanted. Her third skill does an AoE speed debuff. but she's not going to provide any damage or make use of the defense break that the Gildong brings. So that's why I picked Spectra and Gildong instead of like Wound Hack and Aria or something like that, because I feel like they go together really well. So now I'll show you an example of them on some ToA stage. I'll cut to the stage when I pick the team and the stage. So this is going to be the team I'm going to be bringing in. It's Beretta, Chasun, Mav, Spectra, Gildong. So outside of Chasun, it's all farmable. I guess if you wanted to, you could actually go Bella instead of Chasun, or whatever healer you want. Chasun's just there to heal. So I do think you need a healer though, because for Spectra to be able to make use of his second skill, you do need to bring a healer. In fact, I actually might just switch Bella in there. So if you guys are looking for farmable options, you got Bella right there. And I'll probably just cut to the boss floor now. So I'm actually going to show you the very beginning of this just to show you how the team and turn order should work. So the only things that really matter in this turn order is ideally Spectra will go before Gildong, and Mav will go last to refresh your cooldowns after it all. But so I'll just show you a quick example of how this team works. So I get the speed debuff on. You'll see that it actually, 2 of them resisted. The Dark Brownie in the left and the Harpoon in the middle resisted. But this will stun whatever has a speed debuff. Okay, and so this Dark Brownie still is there. But since Mav is last, I can actually afford to provoke him, and that also got resisted, so that's unfortunate. But Beretta also can turbulence him, and I got a lucky despair stun there. But this is more or less how the team goes. It's pretty safe, and if you don't get unlucky with resistance like I did, I got 2 people resisting speed debuff, and then the Brownie also resisted a provoke, so that got pretty unlucky there. But it does happen sometimes, and even then I'm still able to just get the CC out before anyone makes a turn. So I think you guys kind of understand from this how this team works, more or less. You got a lot of CC. You've got Turbulence from Beretta. My Beretta's on Despair. Mav has got first skill stun, second skill provoke. Spectra's got the speed debuff. Gildong's got the AoE stun. So you guys can probably imagine how this team goes. And now I'll probably just cut to the boss fight. Okay, so I'm at the boss stage now. I haven't done any turns yet or anything. This is ToA normal stage 90. It's the August rotation. I believe Hyper actually made a video on how to beat this stage. If you're looking for a video on how to beat it with a different team or a safer team than this. But this team should work pretty well. First, just get the dots out. Here's the speed debuff. I missed the boss and the left Verd. It's okay that I missed the boss because I can't stun her anyways. But the Verd also happened to get stunned because the first hit speed debuffed him, and then the second hit actually got the stun off. So that one is always nice. But I'll get the defense break on the boss. And I'm not really worried about provoking her because this boss in particular doesn't really matter what skill she uses because both skills will do basically the same thing if she doesn't have a teammate out. So, but yeah, this is where Gildong comes in nice. I know I did use the defense break from Bella on this, but if you're using Chasun or a different healer, you have your chance to defense break with Gildong. My Gildong actually did not land a defense break right there, but it's fine. It happens sometimes. And so I'll just get to work on the boss now. Still unable to get the speed debuff on the boss. I got the attack break on the boss, which is always nice. So now that these 2 dark vampires are broken out of stun, it'll be nice if I could get a stun with Mav here. And I did get one. So I'll just get more dots out. She's going to bring someone to attack with her, and it was Verd, so I think I'll do this again to get the stuns out, refresh cooldowns. Yeah, I'll bring that back. Oh, never mind, because she didn't bring Verd. So now I think I'm going to get the speed debuff because I still haven't landed it once on the boss, and I just now did land it. So now I think the option I'll do is the attack break if I can. Okay, so I got attack and glancing. Can I stun this guy? No, not quite. And the reason I went for stun instead of provoke is because if they're provoked, the boss can still bring them with her, but if they're stunned, she won't. So I'll do some damage to the boss. You can see there, 14,000, almost 15,000 damage on defense break, and I'll show you the runes on all these guys afterwards. But it's not terrible damage. It does a decent chunk of the boss's HP, and like I said, I don't have great crit damage on him. So more stuns. I didn't have a speed debuff on the vert on the right, so it didn't get stunned. I didn't catch that. I think here I'll choose to push the boss's attack bar back, and then I'll push my attack bar forward, and then let's end the speed debuff. Okay, I missed the speed debuff on the right vert again. Maybe I can glance it. I can't. Can I stun it? No, I glance. Can I stun? No. Just keep working on the boss then. Still, okay, well this is going to get pretty close to dying now. One more special assault from Spectra and this boss is dead. So can I get a stun on this guy? Nice. Okay, now I'll get the dots out, and pretty much everything is going to die whenever they get a turn, including the boss just died to Spectra. So that's one way to beat ToA 90 normal if you do want to try it. Of course, there's better options in Bella, but I picked Bella because she was farmable. And I did show you guys the runes earlier on Gildong and Spectra, and I said I would tell you how to rune them, and I forgot to, so I'll tell you right now. Here's how to rune them. Spectra, preferably you'll get them on Violent. I use Swift, and it works fine. For ToA, you want at least 45 accuracy, which I did get. But then after that, as much speed as possible, really. There should be no turns or close to no turns taken from the other team. So basically speed and accuracy. And then Gildong is the same build. Of course, HP doesn't hurt in case you do miss the CC and you get hit. So I do recommend getting HP after the speed and accuracy, but speed and accuracy are your real priorities here. So I think that's really all I have to say for this video, guys. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, be sure to tell me in the comments. Also, if there's any other videos you want to see, mention that in the comments. But that's all I have for today, though, guys.